Good afternoon, my name is Alex, and I'll be your examiner today for the Ielts speaking test. Could you please tell me your full name?
Sure, my name is Mia Thompson.
Thank you, Mia. Can I see your identification, please?
Yes, of course, here it is.
Thank you. That's fine. So, Mia, in this first part, I'd like to ask you a few general questions about yourself. Let's talk about helping others. Do you often help people?
Well, yes, I'd say so. I genuinely enjoy lending a hand whenever I can, whether it's something as small as helping my friend proofread her essay or as big as organizing a charity event. I always find it rewarding. There's a sense of satisfaction that comes from making someone's day a little easier.
That's lovely. What kind of people do you usually help?
Mostly my close friends and family, but sometimes even strangers. For example, if I see an elderly person struggling with their groceries, I'll naturally step in to help. I guess it's just part of my nature to be considerate.
That's great. Do you think people today are less willing to help others than in the past?
That's an interesting question. In my opinion, people still want to help, but the fast-paced lifestyle and digital distractions sometimes make it less visible. In the past, communities were tighter knit, so helping others was almost second nature. Nowadays, people might help through online donations or awareness campaigns instead of physical actions. So the form of helping has evolved, but the intention remains the same.
That's great. Do you think people today are less willing to help others than in the past?
And that's an interesting question. In my opinion, people still want to help, but the fast-paced lifestyle and digital distractions sometimes make it less visible. In the past, communities were tighter knit, so helping others was almost second nature. Nowadays, people might help through online donations or awareness campaigns instead of physical actions. So the form of helping has evolved, but the intention remains the same.
All right. Now, in this part of the test, I'm going to give you a topic, and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. You'll have 1 minute to prepare, and you can make some notes if you wish.
Okay, got it.
Here's your topic. Describe a time when you helped someone. You should say who you helped, how you helped them, why you helped them, and explain how you felt about it. You may start speaking now.
All right, thank you. Well, one particular instance that comes to mind happened about 2 years ago when I helped one of my classmates, Emma, who was struggling to pass her Ielts exam. At that time, we were both aiming to study abroad. She wanted to apply to a university in Australia, and I was preparing for the UK. Emma was really anxious because she had already taken the Ielts twice, but couldn't reach her desired band score. I could see how frustrated and demotivated she had become. Since I was quite confident in my English, especially in writing and speaking, I decided to help her. Every evening after class, we used to sit in the library for about 2 hours. I helped her analyze essay questions, taught her how to structure her answers clearly, and shared vocabulary that would make her writing more academic. For speaking, we practiced mock interviews. I would act like an examiner, much like you right now, and ask her random questions. She initially felt shy, but gradually her confidence grew. After around 6 weeks of regular practice, she took the test again, and, believe it or not, she scored a band 7.5 overall, which was exactly what she needed. When she called me to share the result, I remember feeling over the moon. It wasn't just her success, it felt like our success. This experience taught me that helping someone doesn't always require money or big gestures. Sometimes giving your time, energy, and patience can make a huge difference in someone's life. Honestly, it gave me immense joy and boosted my self-esteem too.
Part 3. Discussion questions. Alex. Thank you, Mia. That was a very touching story. Let's talk more generally about helping others in community service. Why do you think people like helping others?
I think it's part of human nature to feel good when we do good. Helping someone activates a sense of empathy and belonging. Psychologically speaking, it triggers the release of endorphins, what we call the helper's high. So, in a way, we help others not just for them, but for our own emotional well-being as well.
Do you think schools should teach students about community service?
Absolutely. Schools are not just for academic learning, they're also for building character. Encouraging students to engage in volunteer work teaches responsibility, teamwork, and compassion. For instance, organizing cleanup drives or visiting old age homes can open their eyes to real world problems. These experiences shape students into more socially aware adults.
That's a good point. Do you think helping others should always be voluntary?
That's a tricky one. Ideally, yes, genuine help comes from the heart, not obligation. But having structured programs like community hours in schools can actually introduce people to the joy of helping. Later, they may choose to continue voluntarily once they experience the emotional rewards. So, in short, mandatory programs can plant the seed, but long-term kindness must grow naturally.
Very well said. How do you think technology has changed the way people help others?
Technology has revolutionized it, honestly. These days, we can help people across the world with just a few clicks. For example, during natural disasters, online fundraising platforms allow people to donate instantly. Social media also plays a big role in spreading awareness. Think of how many campaigns go viral. However, I do think there's a downside. Some people just share posts without taking real action, what's sometimes called slacktivism. So while tech has expanded opportunities, the depth of involvement has become a bit shallow for some.
That was a fantastic answer, Mia. Let's take a moment to highlight some Band 9 vocabulary and idioms you used. Over the moon means extremely happy. Lending a hand is an idiom meaning to help someone. Helper's high is a phrase describing the good feeling after doing something kind. Slacktivism is a modern term for showing support online without taking real action. Tighter-knit community describes close, supportive relationships in a group. These kinds of phrases not only make your answers sound natural, but also show your lexical resource.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, Alex? I think the trick is not to memorize idioms, but to use them where they naturally fit.
Absolutely. Forced idioms sound unnatural, and examiners can tell. It's about fluency and coherence, not just vocabulary dumping. Part 3. Continued discussion. Alex, let's explore a bit more. In your opinion, does helping others make people more successful in life?
Without a doubt, helping others teaches patience, leadership, and communication, all of which are essential for success. I've seen people who volunteer develop a stronger work ethic and emotional intelligence. In my own life, helping my friend with Ielts actually improved my teaching skills and later inspired me to become an English tutor. So yes, helping others can indirectly shape your career path too.
That's interesting. Do you think in the future people will become more or less willing to help each other?
I'd like to be optimistic and say more. As the world faces global challenges, climate change, inequality, mental health issues, I think people are becoming more aware of collective responsibility. Even Gen Z, for example, is quite vocal about social justice and environmental issues. The future might rely more on collaboration than competition.
Do you think government programs should reward people for volunteering?
That's debatable. While recognition is motivating, if you start rewarding people with money or certificates, the whole spirit of volunteering might fade. However, small incentives like public acknowledgement or scholarships can encourage more participation. It's all about finding a balance between motivation and authenticity.
Thanks, Mia. You've given such insightful answers so far. Let's go even deeper. Some people believe that helping others can sometimes be taken for granted. What do you think?
That's a very realistic concern. Sometimes when you're genuinely kind, people might assume it's your obligation rather than a choice. It can lead to burnout or emotional exhaustion. However, I think the key is setting healthy boundaries. Helping should come from compassion, not from guilt or pressure. As they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. So, taking care of yourself is also part of helping others.
Beautifully put. That idiom, you can't pour from an empty cup, is perfect for Ielts because it shows emotional intelligence and metaphorical language.
Yeah, it really hits home, doesn't it? I learned that after helping my friend. At one point, I was juggling my own studies and her lessons, and I got totally exhausted. That's when I realized that effective help must come with balance and self-care.
Exactly. That's something examiners love when candidates reflect on what they've learned. Let's talk about the value of helping in society. How do you think a country benefits when its citizens help one another?
Honestly, a lot. When citizens are empathetic, societies become more resilient. During crises like natural disasters or pandemics, it's often the community that responds first, not just the government. If everyone develops a mindset of mutual aid, it strengthens social bonds and creates a sense of shared responsibility. In short, helping others builds social capital, which is just as important as financial capital.
Social capital, great phrase. It's an advanced lexical item that could easily push your score up in lexical resource.
I try my best. These small expressions make a big difference in the test. They show that you can talk about big ideas clearly.
Cultural perspective segment. Let's shift gears a little. Do you think the concept of helping others is the same across all cultures?
Not exactly. In some cultures, helping is seen as a communal duty, like in many Asian countries, where family and neighborhood ties are strong. People naturally step up to support one another. In more individualistic societies, like some Western countries, helping can be more structured through volunteering organizations or charities. The intention is the same, but the expression of help differs.
That's a strong cultural comparison, very Band 9 level because you're comparing perspectives without judging them.
Thanks. I try to keep my answers balanced. I think IELTS examiners appreciate when candidates avoid extremes like always or never. Nuance shows maturity in thought.
IELTS speaking tips, in-character discussion. Since we're on the topic, Mia, let's quickly turn this into a learning moment for our listeners. What tips would you give someone preparing for IELTS speaking?
Oh, there are a few golden rules I swear by. Don't memorize answers. Examiners can spot it instantly. Instead, memorize phrases, not sentences. Use natural connectors like actually, to be honest, that's an interesting question, etc. They make your speech sound fluent. Include personal experiences. Even if they're small or fictional, they make your answers relatable. Vary your tone. Flat voices sound robotic. Natural intonation shows confidence. Don't fear pauses. A short pause to think is perfectly fine. It shows you're reflecting.
Brilliant advice. And listeners, notice how Mia naturally integrates idioms and collocations. She doesn't force them in. That's one of the hallmarks of a Band 9 candidate. Mini practice round, mock Q&A for listeners. Let's do something fun for the audience. I'll ask some quick-fire IELTS-style questions. Listeners, try answering before Mia does. Ready?
Let's go.
Describe a time you gave someone good advice.
I once advised my cousin not to drop out of university during a tough semester. I reminded him that smooth seas never made skilled sailors. Eventually, he graduated, and now he thanks me for that pep talk.
Excellent idiom. Smooth seas never made skilled sailors. Next question. Do you think people help others more when they expect something in return?
Some do, unfortunately. But genuine kindness expects nothing back. When you help purely for recognition, it loses authenticity. I like to think true help is invisible. It's done from the heart, not for applause.
Deep discussion. Psychology of helping. Psychologists often say helping others reduces stress and depression. Do you agree?
Totally. When you focus on helping someone else, you shift your attention away from your own problems. It creates perspective. Also, acts of kindness release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and endorphins, which make you feel good. It's literally science-backed happiness.
So basically, helping others is the cheapest therapy.
Exactly. No prescription needed.
Personal reflection. So after all these experiences, how do you think helping others has shaped who you are today?
I think it's made me more grounded and emotionally mature. Before, I used to believe success was all about achievements and grades. But through helping my friend, I realized success also means making a difference. It taught me empathy, patience, and gratitude, qualities that no textbook could ever teach me.
That's such a powerful takeaway. Listeners, if you're preparing for Ielts, remember, when you tell your personal story with emotion and reflection, that's when you sound truly Band 9. So, to wrap up, today Mia shared her experience of helping a friend pass Ielts, and we discussed idioms, expressions, and high-scoring vocabulary. Let's recap some key Band 9 phrases. Over the moon, meaning extremely happy.
Lend a hand, meaning to help someone.
You can't pour from an empty cup, meaning take care of yourself first. Social capital, used in the context of community trust and cooperation. And smooth seas never made skilled sailors, meaning challenges make you stronger.
And don't forget, helping others can help you grow. So be kind, stay consistent, and believe that every small act of help counts.
Well said. That's all for today's Ielts Speaking podcast. Thanks for listening. And remember, your voice, your story, your confidence, that's your Band 9 power.
Bye, everyone. Keep learning, keep growing.